Transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and swords, eternally retold.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Fighting Game Fridays. I am Nick Silviano, and yes, we are obviously doing Soul Calibur II this week, and I have foregone using my personal intro that I made, because let's face it, do you really want to watch one intro and then watch another intro? I don't think so. And if you're anything like me, after the first few episodes, you just skip through the intro entirely. I know I do. Usually I'll go to I'll watch other people's videos and, oh, the intro, let me skip through that and get to the point of it. I'm just reading just in the settings here, make sure it's on, widescreen and all that good stuff. So yeah, Soul Calibur 2! I am playing the GameCube version, for obvious reasons I'll explain in a minute. Well, because I have a GameCube version. But this version came off of all three consoles at the time, GameCube, PS2, and Xbox 360, each with this one exclusive character. So yeah, basically it was a sequel to the next game in the Soul Calibur series, a lot of returning characters, alternate costumes, stuff like that. This game had a crap load of content. I think 3 did also. I didn't play 3 as much as I did 2, because 2, damn, it had to be the game I played the most on my GameCube. Except maybe Smash Brothers. And I mean, I'd bring the GameCube over to my friend's house, we'd play at his house, my house. This is a game we'd stay up all night playing, because Soul Calibur 2 was just great. Probably the best in the series. Had a bunch of interesting characters, and, you know, there's Necrid, he wasn't in the arcade, but he was for the console version only. He was like some weird character that did copied everybody's moves. There's like 3 characters in this game that do that. Necrid, that weird eyeball thing down there, and Inferno, which you couldn't play as. Mitsurugi makes his return, but the thing about it is, GameCube version had Link. And as you can see, he had a bunch of different colors in his costume there, so yay Link. So you can tell who I'll be playing through as in this playthrough. Yes, Link was the exclusive character to the GameCube version, and I think that's why the GameCube version sold the most out of the 3. Some might argue with me like that. I don't know, it's been years, maybe one did outsell it. At the time, the GameCube was the most selling version. There's also, like I said, the PS2 and Xbox 360 versions. The PS2 version had Heihachi, which It was kind of lame if you think about it. And the Xbox version had Spawn, which, you know, neither of those other two seem to fit in, but whatever. I guess they needed an exclusive character, and they picked Spawn. He wasn't that bad. I remember playing the 360 version. It was not 360. Damn it! I want to say the regular Xbox, the first Xbox. Combat is the same as usual. You know, best out of 3 rounds. Whoever went to 2 rounds. The moveset was a little rusty, so there were some mess ups, and you might notice later on that the time in the corner jumps. That's because I had to do some editing because I fucked up a few times. Because to be honest, as much fun as it is to play as Link in the game, he wasn't exactly the best character to use. My favorite character in Soul Calibur 2 was Nightmare, and that is never going to change. I like Nightmare in the first and second one, and speaking of which, here he is now. Hey, Nightmare, how you doing? He's sporting his second costume, which showed more of Siegfried than it did Nightmare, but whatever. So yeah, the game had modes like, you know, they had extra weapon mode where you can unlock what, 10 weapons for each character, and weapons had special abilities, like some would refill health as you struck, others would take away health as you struck. Like, some characters would have their own version of the Soul Edge weapon. Link had his own version of the Soul Edge weapon. Some characters had a version of the Soul Calibur weapon. Link did not, but he had the Great Fairy Sword, which acted like the Soul Calibur weapon. The Great Fairy Sword, it refilled health when he attacked, and stuff like that. And each character had a joke weapon. Link's joke weapon was the butterfly net, or the bee net, or whatever. He had a really powerful weapon, which was the Megaton Hammer. And oh man, you could just take somebody out in like 3 or 4 hits with that damn thing. And Nightmare had the coolest lines. I will show you the great. Oh, I just love those lines. I will show you the greatest Nightmare, stuff like that. Usually when we beat somebody, he'll say, "You're pathetic. Go away." Oh, I just really like Nightmare, and I really contemplated playing this playthrough with him. But I wanted to show off Link because how many fighting games do you see Link in besides this one and Smash Brothers, and possibly any Mugen games that are out there?
Versus Astaroth.
So, all the characters make an appearance. Astaroth is here again. The big axe guy. Can't remember if it's the same one from the first one, because like I said in the last one, that Astaroth, there were many of them. And he takes on a different appearance here, doing his best Tyrant impression for Liu by having his heart exposed. So, doesn't really make much of a difference for the character because it does nothing. And I think he had his own version of it. Every character, I think, had a version of Soul Edge. No matter what character you were, they had a Soul Edge. For some people, it refilled health, and like I said, for some people, it actually took away health every time you hit, or it took away health just by standing there. I think in the case of Nightmare, he had the full Soul Edge, and the weapon just drained your life whether you're using it or not. You would just stand there, and your life bar would just drain. I think there were some weapons that did chip damage, so if the character was blocking, it would still take away health and stuff like that. Like I said, they all had a bunch of different special abilities. And I kind of almost wanted to show off extra weapon mode, but I don't know. Maybe sometime in the future I'll revisit this game and do the extra weapon mode just to show it off and stuff like that. So yeah, like I was saying, this game had just like a bunch unloadable. It had like the mission mode, quest mode from the first one. A little different, a little more story driven. You pick your character. You can pick any character you want. You would still be referred to as you. So if you put in your name, you'd be like, oh, so and so has traveled here. And this is Cassandra, which is Sophia's little sister, who went to go find Sophia, who is in this game but is a locked character at the start. There were a lot of locked characters which had unlocked during gameplay, either by fulfilling certain conditions in arcade mode, or by fulfilling certain missions in mission mode. So you would run into the character and unlock them and stuff like that. Link has like this really cheap throw. If you just back up far enough and go to the corner, you can grab your opponent and just toss them off the edge for a ring out. That's more or less how I got through mission mode most of the time. I try other characters when I get my ass kicked. I just do the whole, oh, let me throw you off the, let me back up and throw my enemy off the ledge tree. I do that a lot. And every once in a while I do that to my friends, and they would be really pissed. Link has his signature other weapons. He can shoot arrows, which I demonstrated. I tried to throw the bomb, but I was out of time. So he has the arrows, the bomb, and the boomerang, I believe. I just forgot how to use the boomerang.
The evil sword came back.
Cervantes also makes a return. He is the main boss from Soul Edge. You know, he's possessed by Inferno, but it's him. And he looks more dead from this point on than he did in the first Soul Calibur. He still looked pretty human, even though he was undead. And they kind of fixed that come Soul Calibur 2 and so on, when hey look, he looked like the zombie he was supposed to be. So he's trying to reclaim Soul Edge, because he's in love with Soul Edge. It gave him like all the godlike power, and he was like, oh, I must have that. Link does have his spin attack. He does an upward spin attack. He also does a downward thrust and upward thrust. I don't remember where upward thrust was. I think it was from Smash Brothers. But downward thrust is definitely from Zelda 2, so they brought that in. And that's cool. I actually did get my ass kicked a couple times during this fight. Oh, tackle! Take that, you bastard. So, yeah. If you notice in the corner, you'll see like a little time jump or whatever. So, yeah, I kind of messed up later on. Other new characters were Raphael, that weird eyeball thing. I totally forgot his name. Pretty much the story for Soul Calibur is, at the end of Soul Calibur 2, at the end of the first Soul Calibur, they destroyed or severely damaged Soul Edge, and little pieces of it scattered all over the world. And basically, people were finding these pieces. Some people were finding it, and they were trying to seek out the rest so they could destroy. They could continue destroying Soul Edge. Some took it so they could find Soul Edge and put it back together and gain power. Like Nightmare, he was doing that. He's like, hey, give me my Soul Edge pieces. He collects most of them and recollects Soul Edge. And rebuilds most of Soul Edge, probably 80% of it, maybe less, I don't know. The story was that Siegfried did get free from Nightmare, but he eventually was overtaken by Nightmare once again. And Yoshimitsu, he did not make an appearance in the first Soul Calibur. I mean, he did, he didn't show up in my playthrough. And if you're thinking, yes, he is the Yoshimitsu from Tekken, but he's like the ancestor. So Yoshimitsu is like it's a group of people. It's a ninja clan, and there's always one guy calling himself Yoshimitsu. So he's like the ancestor, the one you see in Tekken. So yes, it is. It's not the same guy, but he's from the same organization. So there is, yes, a tie-in between Soul Calibur and Tekken. It is in the same world. This confirms that it's the same universe. Also confirming that in Heihachi's story, he goes back in time to fight the Soul Edge people, because he's thrilled about the fact that he has no weapons, and he's fighting people with weapons. That was his big challenge. So yes, he does not have a weapon in the his Soul Calibur game, but he has different armbands. That's his weapon, in quotes. And here is Raphael, the new character for for Soul Calibur 2, and he is the rival character for every third-party character, whether it be him or Heihachi or Spawn. So he's always him. He's also a rival character for a few other ones, mostly Nightmare, because he is also trying to find Soul Edge to protect some girl named Amy, who he was running from the law or something. Amy said, "Oh, he went that way," and they're like, "Oh, where'd he go?" And he pointed to a different. She said, "Oh, he went that way." He was hiding all the time, so he's like, "Well, I'm going to dedicate my life to protecting you, and I'm going to do that by finding the most deadliest weapon of all." And of course, he eventually does. He actually does. I think he gets a hold of it here. I think they his ending is canon to the series, however you want to call it. Well, I don't know if he gets a weapon or he touches a weapon and corrupts him into something else. I'll talk more about that in Soul Calibur 3. But oh my, he was a pain in the ass. It did took me a few times to take him out. He's a little bitch because a lot of his moves cause him to do a step back and then attack. And if you're not careful with that, you will miss him. You'll go to swing at him. He'll do the thing where he steps back and also he'll get you. He is a very annoying character, and his sword strikes just piss me off. Especially when me and my friend would play it. When me and my friends were playing it, he'd always just poke at me. I'm like, "Fuck, stop it! Fucking stop poking at me, you son of a bitch!" So yeah, it would get pretty heated when we play this game. Those were the days. And yes, of course, Inferno is once again the final boss of the Soul Calibur series. He is actually this is actually the last time he shows up as the final boss in the series, though. After that, it's a completely different enemy. Each game after this has a different bad guy at the end of arcade mode, except for... I haven't actually got to the end of 5 because 5 sucked. So I may or may not be doing part 5 in the series. If I do, it'll be way later. I only plan on doing up to 4, and then I want to move on. Because really, how much Soul Calibur could you possibly take? I did 6 Street Fighter games, for God's sakes. Pretty sure people got sick of that. So Inferno, once again, has different weapons. He starts out with Soul Edge, except I lost and I had to continue like twice. So basically it just shows him with the... But he shoots weapons every time. It's pretty much one round. And it's different, so you knock some of his life bar down, and he just... he knocks him down, he gets up, and you just finish him off. It does get kind of hard to face him, because as you're hitting him, his flames are like scattering all over the place. And at certain camera angles, it's like, I cannot see what the hell I'm doing. And as you see right there, he has that move, which is like exclusive to him. Just spins up in the air. You can block it like pretty easily. You miss me completely, but you can block it. But like I said, that's basically how it works. You just take him out like you would any other character. It's one round. If you lose, you just continue. And so forth. I don't think he was the final boss in the original Soul Calibur 2 arcade. I think they put him in later. It was that eyeball thing. I only played like the arcade version once. And of course, you beat the game. Now, with some characters, it'll show either Soul Edge or Soul Calibur or both of them. With Link, it just shows him like stare up into the clouds. And then it explains his ending and what he's doing here. Endings aren't as lengthy as they were in the first one. But pretty much it explains what Link's doing in Hyrule. And all that fun stuff. Apparently Link's story is pieces of Soul Edge came into his world. Created some evil wizard, and then Zelda's like, go find out what this is and destroy it. And so Link's like, yes, princess. And he just goes and does this. Apparently that's the story for Link. I guess you wouldn't really call it canon or whatever, it doesn't matter, but that's pretty much the ending. There are actually no credits this time. It just says game over, you get gold, which you use to unlock weapons and art, concept art and other stuff, much like the first one. So yes, you had to use video game money instead of real money back then. Before they figured, hey, we can just charge people for more stuff. Yay! And then it has the ranking. And I was like pretty young when this happened, so yeah, all that are names I put in, so some I don't remember why. That was just fun. I'm like, I can put my name in again, so that's pretty much me taking up the entire board. So yay to that, and there's me, first place with Nightmare. So, and there you go. That was Soul Calibur 2. So yeah, like I said, one of my favorite games on the GameCube, one of my favorite fighting games that we played for I just played for hours on end, up late playing, spent all day playing. This is before I had a job and stuff like that. Go to my friend's house and play it. Sometimes I was bored, I was play it. Just play through arcade mode. I just had a blast with this game. I was playing like all the time, so maybe a little obsessed with it at the time. It was the last really, really good game in the series. 3 was, I wasn't a big fan of 3. It was all right. 4 was a little better than 3. I did like 4. A lot of people hated it. They're like, oh, Soul Calibur 4 sucked. I thought it was all right. I thought it was a pretty good one. The next best one since 2. And then Soul Calibur 5, I was just really, really disappointed about that. I wouldn't trade that back in. I was like pissed. I'm like, really? I was excited for this game when I first heard about it. Like, hey, new Soul Calibur. And then I played it and I was like, oh god. Okay, stop making Soul Calibur games, Namco. Give it a rest. We don't need one every year. It's not a Madden series. So yeah, and yeah, there was also a PSP version, which you obviously will not see me play ever because I don't have a PSP. And I don't know if there's an emulator version, and I really don't want to mess with emulators, because every time I try to get an emulator, I end up with a freaking virus. I don't know how it happens. All these people, they're like, oh, I'm going to get the emulator, and nothing happens to them. And, you know, I try to ask them, hey, how do you get that? And they'll try to help me out, but I end up with a freaking virus. I'm like, come on with the virus. Stop it. So, alright. Rambled on long enough. This has been another week of Fighting Game Fridays. I will try to get the next one out next week, but it's not looking too promising because my work schedule is just really weird. And I don't know if I'll have time to actually put it all together. So, we'll see. If not, it might be a little while before I get another Fighting Game Fridays out, but I'm trying. And the week after that, I am on vacation, but I will be doing things. There's stuff I'll be doing. Not the least of which is actually going to Vegas with the Reckless Eating crew, so that'll be fun. Alright, I will see you eventually for Fighting Game Fridays, and who knows, maybe I'll put a rant up between now and whenever. Who knows? We'll see what pisses me off. Alright. See you later, YouTube.